Scoring a goal in football can be a huge emotional moment, right? It's usually a time for joy and celebration. But sometimes, players get a bit too excited and their celebrations cross the line, becoming controversial. You won't believe some of the ways they celebrate. These actions don't just slide by though. Players can face anything from fines to suspensions, and in really extreme cases, they can even be totally banned from playing. Here are 10 banned celebrations in football. Robbie Fowler. During a match between Liverpool and Merseyside rivals Everton, Robbie decided to launch a celebration that would go down in Premier League history. Before the match, Robbie had been severely taunted by Everton fans through unfounded allegations of him being a drug user, hoping the allegations would throw him off his game. Robbie wanted to prove a point during the match that the trollings didn't get to him, and what better way to do that than scoring the opening goal in a tie that ended 3-2 in favor of Liverpool. But Robbie Fowler wasn't done as he chose to celebrate by dropping to his knees and snorting the white line. What a hilarious way to respond to bitter trolls, right? Sadly for Robbie, FA didn't think so as he was already under investigation by the FA for a former incident with Graeme Le Saux. This led to an immediate 6-match ban for both offences. Liverpool found his celebration quite offensive as well, and fined him £60,000. A little harsh, almost as bad as this next guy, Nicolas Anelka. Most people remember Nicolas Anelka for his time at Chelsea, and very few remember that he played for West Brom at a point in his career. Well, after being out for 2 months due to injury, he came back with a bang after netting a brace against West Ham. I guess he got too excited because he celebrated with a quenelle gesture, which is an inverted Nazi salute with strong anti-Semitic influence. It also has a lot of ugly undertones like a finger or a man's private tool. In summary, it's a very offensive gesture. You can't go around celebrating like that, Anelka. Fortunately, he learned the hard way after receiving a 5-match ban and a fine of £80,000 before he was fired by West Brom for gross misconduct. At least he didn't disrespect an entire nation like these guys. Granit Xhaka and Xherdan Shaqiri. Granit Xhaka and Xherdan Shaqiri incurred the wrath of an entire nation of Serbians after a controversial celebration in a World Cup match between Switzerland and Serbia. Goals from Granit Xhaka and Xherdan Shaqiri led Switzerland to a victory over Serbia in a crucial World Cup fixture. But what grabbed the headlines wasn't the goals but the celebrations afterward. You see, both Xhaka and Shaqiri are from Kosovo, and the state declared its independence from Serbia in 2008. The Serbs don't acknowledge their independence, and the two still have a tense relationship. Xhaka and Shaqiri couldn't care less about the whole shebang, and chose to celebrate their goals with the Albanian Eagle at the biggest tournament in the history of every sport. Talk about poor acoustics. They were initially given a 2-match ban for celebrating with a political message, but they eventually got away easy with a fine, which is more than I can say for Paul Gascoigne. Paul Gascoigne. Paul Gascoigne was more famous for his off-field activities than what he did on the pitch, but this one happened on the pitch, as Gaza's celebration was so disrespectful that he received death threats. During a match between Celtic and Rangers at Parkhead in 1998, Paul chose to celebrate his goal by playing an imaginary flute due to taunts from the Celtic fans. A seemingly harmless celebration, you might think, but far from it. It has a far more controversial meaning because it is considered a provocative symbol of loyalist supremacy. A gesture which got him a fine of £20,000 by his club for inflaming sectarian problems that exist to this day. Something that also didn't sit well with the IRA, and they responded by sending him death threats. In his autobiography, he said, "The police gave me something to look under my car for bombs, and told me to get the family to board up the house in case someone shot through the windows." It got that bad, but at least he survived it to write an autobiography. This next guy didn't receive death threats, but he also disrespected an entire club with his celebration. Cristiano Ronaldo. And it's none other than Cristiano Ronaldo during a Champions League game between Juventus and Atletico Madrid. Back in 2019, Juventus desperately needed a comeback to qualify for the Champions League quarter-final after losing to Atletico Madrid 2-0 in the first leg of the tie. As if the scoreline wasn't embarrassing enough, Atletico Madrid's coach Diego Simeone said he would hawk watermelon on the streets if Juventus could manage a comeback. Well, Cristiano Ronaldo took it personally and went into the second leg as a man on a mission. He scored 2 brilliant headers in the first half to tie the game, and in the closing minutes, he converted the penalty to complete his hat trick and send Juventus through to the quarter-finals. Now, Cristiano is no stranger to iconic celebrations, but he took this one step further by mimicking Diego someone's celebration in the first leg. UEFA wasn't amused by his celebration though, as he was fined $23,000. If you ask CR7, I'm sure it's the best fine he's ever had to pay. Reminds me of someone who isn't a stranger to fines and controversial celebrations. Neymar Jr. It's been scientifically proven that Brazilians are born with a ball on their feet. Nah, I'm just kidding, but these guys enjoy life on the football pitch, either with a ball or without, and a particular Brazilian that comes to mind is Neymar Jr. Neymar is no stranger to controversial celebrations, but this is one of his earliest ones, and not even the worst of them, because he got sent off for, wait for it, his face. As ironic as that sounds, it happened during a group stage tie between Santos and Colo-Colo. Neymar scored a beautiful goal in the second half of the game, and decided to celebrate by wearing a mask of his face. The referee must have hated Neymar's face because he got a second yellow card, and got sent off immediately for wearing his face. Just when you think you've heard it all. But it is hardly a proper list, without at least 2 Brazilians. And who else than the face of controversy himself, Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr. Vinny didn't just get himself in trouble, but he also dragged down his entire team with him. In 2018, during a match between Flamengo and Botafogo for a spot in the Guanabara Cup final, Vinny decided to bring back 10 years of embarrassing history for the Botafogo fans. For a little backstory, in 2008, Botafogo suffered a tear-jerking loss, literally, because during the press conference held after the match, the players complained about the refs while also crying about it. Vinny was just 17 years old, but he had a knack for controversy even then because he knew exactly how to hit the Botafogo fans where it hurts. After scoring a cracker of a goal, Vinny celebrated by making a crying face as a way of taunting the Botafogo fans. Well, they gave him his moment before they responded by banning Vinicius and his entire teammates from their stadium for life. Some people just don't forgive or forget. Hardly unfair when Vinny is an unrepentant offender, but even he has nothing on this guy. Paolo Di Canio. Di Canio is a player who repeatedly made offensive celebrations without regard. Being the self-confessed fascista that he is mostly remembered for offering fascist salutes to the right-wing fans during his time at Lazio. Di Canio also made no apology for his actions, and was repeatedly fined and banned on occasions when he made the salute. Didn't seem to make a difference, but at least he knew what he was doing. This next guy was banned for life for a single celebration he claimed he knew nothing about. Giorgos Katidis. In a closely contested fixture between AEK Athens and Veria on March 16, 2013, AEK Athens midfielder Giorgos Katidis finally broke the deadlock when he scored the winning goal. It seems his excitement got the best of him as he celebrated by performing a Nazi salute. He would find out the extreme repercussions of what he did after Greece banned him from ever representing the country. The midfielder denied knowing that his celebration was a Nazi salute, and his coach defended him as he was just 20 years old back then and he was not politically active. A grave punishment for an allegedly ignorant mistake. Sad, but this next guy knew what he was doing for sure. Emmanuel Adebayor. After Emmanuel signed for Manchester City from Arsenal in 2009, he had to face the Gunners not long after. To show their displeasure, Arsenal fans kept taunting him throughout the entire match. In a blissful moment of karma, he scored a goal against his former club, and Adebayor sprinted the entire length of the pitch to celebrate his goal. The traveling Arsenal fans naturally went bonkers, as most footballers choose not to celebrate against their former club. In all fairness, they deserved what they got. But the fans were not the only ones offended, as he got a yellow card from the ref and had to answer for an FA charge. Adebayor also received a 3-game ban for stamping on Robin van Persie in the same game. With this, we've come to the end of the video. Let us know which punishment you think is unfair in the comments. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to know when we drop another banger.